This presentation was paid for by CGTN. The opinions, views, and claims expressed are those of CGTN and may not necessarily reflect those of CNBC.
Economy, innovation, culture, exploration. Discover the vibrant pulse of China's economy and dive into the rich tapestry of its culture. Embark on a journey of exploration with Meet China. Here, your journey begins.
Hello everyone, welcome to Meet China. I'm Lulu. Today we'll delve into what is capturing the hearts of the new generation in China, from their favorite things to spend on to how they shape their careers. We will look at how history and tradition comes alive in toys, and then we take a train ride with a young woman who shares her hometown speciality with the world, and then we enjoy a phenomenal Yue opera show that's become a cultural sensation. And finally, we meet up with a content creator who's inspired by women in history. Let's start with those plush toys. They're no longer just for kids. Many people in China travel around to collect them. These toys have become a cultural sensation, appearing in museums and tourist spots everywhere. But don't be fooled into thinking that they're only cute companions, because they can also be little pieces of history and tradition reimagined for the modern era.
Well, it's hard to pinpoint exactly when cultural products began to take off. They've quickly become must-have souvenirs at tourist attractions and museums across China. Some collectors even travel the country just to gather them. To keep up with this trend, I visited one of the most popular internet-famous spots, the White Dagoba Temple in Beijing. Look, I just got two of the bestsellers in the temple, and this little one is very cute. It's a figurine of the White Cow just behind me, as you can see. And we're so lucky today because I was told the designer Kongkong is right now in the shop. Let's go meet him and find out more. Hello, Kongkong 老师。
嗨，你好。我们是根据那个一个白塔的外形来设计的。你像它的这个地方
It's based on the shape of the White Pagoda. For its 745th anniversary, I made a special little sweater for it. The fluffy texture is perfect for winter. There's even a zipper at the bottom where you can add a wish or blessing. It's important to balance aesthetics with functionality. These products bridge museums and the public, translating rich cultural history into something easy to understand.
Designing products for historical sites isn't easy. Kongkong has to start from scratch, learning the history, familiarizing himself with architecture, and exploring every little detail so that each product is rooted in solid research. You could say his understanding of the temple now exceeds that of many tour guides.
That wind chime is actually taller than a person, over 2 meters high. For this design, we replicated key features of the pagoda, like the lotus pattern. We even shaped it like a little bib. We hope the plush material gives people a soft, comforting feeling, offering a sense of healing or companionship.
These charming products have done more than just attract visitors to less-known museums and landmarks. They've opened new and diverse consumption opportunities for the cultural tourism industry. And our cultural confidence has also been significantly boosted.
We used to collect fridge magnets from other countries. Now our own cultural products are more refined, meaningful, and unique. We're starting to collect them from Beijing.
其实我们尤其是现在的年轻人对中国传统文化下
People are increasingly drawn to the fusion of traditional Chinese culture and plush toys. There is so much more to explore within Chinese culture. It's inspiring to see more young people embracing our traditions, loving them, and even willing to pay for products that reflect our cultural heritage. I'm confident our products will soon be making waves overseas.
我们也会非常的期待的啊。
As Kongkong says, when you take one of these products home, it's not just adding to your collection. You are also taking away a piece of 5,000 years of Chinese history.
Economy, innovation, culture, exploration. Discover the vibrant pulse of China's economy and dive into the rich tapestry of its culture. Embark on a journey of exploration with Meet China. Here, your journey begins.
Thanks to high-speed trains, new business opportunities are popping up around China. Let's meet a young woman who exports goji berries grown in northwest China's Ningxia province to global markets. And her career rides on the high-speed train that connects her humble hometown in Ningxia with the bustling metropolis of Guangzhou.
At Hedong International Airport, Zhang Xiaomei just finished her third flight of the month. Having worked in international trade for 17 years, she is accustomed to life in the fast lane. Her exceptional language talent enabled her to pass the test for English Majors Grade 8. And this time, the language switch is to prepare for a visit by a Japanese client at the end of the month. It's a 40-minute drive from the airport to the company, where unbeknownst to Zhang Xiaomei, there's a crisis waiting for her to deal with.
These are for ABB, right?
Yes.
What are these for? Our European clients?
The first piece of news Zhang Xiaomei receives upon entering company is nothing short of shocking.
If we can't ship the goods today, we'll be facing claims from our clients.
Due to uncontrollable factors in international shipping, the goods have been delayed. Zhang Xiaomei needs to find a solution in the shortest possible time.
These goods are for Costco and Whole Foods. I'm really upset. Mr. Wang, please hurry up.
Luckily, she's well aware that crisis and opportunity are different sides of the same coin.
International trade involves the entire global environment, including economic factors, political factors, and geopolitical factors. There are many challenging issues along the way, but generally speaking, I like this job.
Zhang Xiaomei has been working in the international goji berry trade for 11 years now. But 11 years ago, the very last thing she thought was that her life would become bound up with goji berries.
Many people born in the 1980s, especially those who got into top universities in China, were reluctant to return to Ningxia. They all wanted to go to big cities and make their mark.
Zhang Xiaomei went to Guangzhou and worked in international trade for a foreign company. She got married, had children, and thought her life would remain rooted in Guangzhou. But for various reasons, her husband had to return to Ningxia. Zhang Xiaomei's life had reached a crossroad.
Actually, he came back first. I hesitated for 2 months before coming back. After thinking it through, I realized that Ningxia has two things with international competitiveness, and one of them is the goji berry industry.
Zhang Xiaomei decided to take a gamble, betting her entire career and the second half of her life on it. She joined a local goji berry company. All of a sudden, the high-powered executive was starting over as a humble salesperson.
My first client was from Europe, and I managed to get into contact with them through the internet and phone. I remember when I made that first call, I was still hesitant, wondering if the international market would accept our products.
And then even add on top of that, add some goji berries for additional sweetness.
What I didn't expect was that he said, "I know goji berries. Their place of origin is in Ningxia." The following week, he booked a flight to visit our company and immediately placed an order for 10 tons of goods.
But in point of fact, the international Ningxia goji berry trade is far from new. Since the Han Dynasty, with the opening of westward trade routes, goji berries came to be regarded as a treasure in the countries along the way. In recent years, the export of Ningxia goji berries has seen explosive growth, reaching more than 50 countries and regions. Thanks to technological innovation and joined-up policy support, Ningxia has driven the transformation of its goji berry industry, shifting towards processing and higher added value. Thus, a range of innovative products, including goji berry juice, goji berry pastries, and goji berry cosmetics, have become highly popular in the market. Zhang Xiaomei is fortunate to have caught the crest of the wave of the goji berry industry's rapid growth.
Come here. The expectant mother should have a taste of it. You didn't have breakfast this morning.
With the transportation issue resolved, the atmosphere in the team becomes much more relaxed. The new goji berry jam for the international market is a product of Zhang Xiaomei's team's creativity.
But have you noticed? The jam has a lot of liquid.
We need slightly larger chunks. When you spread it, you can really tell it's goji berry jam. For North America, keep following up with cola, and for Australia, let's gather feedback from our clients on other goji-related needs. We have the research and development capacity to develop more innovative products. We explore the potential needs of our customers. We're all involved in the development process before new products are released, and every day is filled with fresh ideas and innovation. It makes us feel youthful. This is different. We have many new products this year. You can have a try. I've been in the goji berry industry for 11 years since 2014. I've never switched jobs. From 10 million yuan at the beginning to the current over 100 million yuan in international trade revenue, I truly find joy in this work. The growth has brought me far more satisfaction than I ever imagined. Goji berries, these small red gems, have exerted an immense influence on the international stage.
In my heart, Ningxia goji berries are second to none. I believe they offer a sense of reassurance, thanks to their unique technical advantages and organic cultivation. These qualities truly make them one of a kind in the world.
When she stood at life's crossroad, pondering whether to turn left or right, it was the land itself that guided Zhang Xiaomei in her choice and richly rewarded her. A thriving industry, a nation on the rise, everything is great. When you grow with the tide, you're bound to reap unexpected rewards.
This presentation was paid for by CGTN. The opinions, views, and claims expressed are those of CGTN and may not necessarily reflect those of CNBC.
Yue opera is one of the hundreds of traditional Chinese operas, and today the century-old opera is finding new life. One Yue opera show has gained over 1.8 billion views on social media within 1 year of its premiere. Let's discover now, why is this show so enchanting to young audiences?
Chen Lijun never imagined Yue opera would reach such heights of popularity. In 2023, the neo-Chinese style immersive Yue opera New Dragon Gate Inn became a huge hit. Chen Lijun and her partner Li Yunxiao, the lead actress in the opera, also quickly rose to stardom on Chinese social media.
So many things in the past 6 months have been unimaginable. So many people have come with love. They will queue outside the theater, and so many people fell in love with Yue opera because of me. I had never imagined that could happen. Sometimes when I wake up, I still couldn't believe what has happened. It's surreal and all too real, and I cherish all of it.
Data shows that 80% of the first-timers to Yue opera theaters come to watch the New Dragon Gate Inn. Within a year of its premiere in March 2023, there have been over 1.8 billion views of the show and its related content on China's social media. It is a phenomenon. Today, New Dragon Gate Inn marks its 200th performance at the Butterfly Theater. Even though there are nearly 14 shows per month on average, tickets are still hard to get.
I found the immersive atmosphere so enticing. It was so different from traditional big stage performances. For more than 2 hours, I was reluctant to blink.
What makes me particularly happy is that more and more students are coming to the theater to watch the performances. Some students are brought by their parents because they want to watch the show. In a way, it's them who insist on taking their parents along. This makes me really happy. For the next generation, Yue opera as a traditional culture is no longer distant and out of reach, but a part of their lives that they can feel and talk about.
Dongwang Village in Ganlin Town, Shenzhou, more than 120 kilometers from Hangzhou, is recognized as the birthplace of the melodious Yue opera. More than 110 years ago, storytellers built their stage here with used rice buckets. That marked the beginning of the century-old Yue opera.
This scene depicts our first stage performance in front of the incense hall at Dongwang village. This shows how the original stage looked. It was built upon rice buckets. To make the foundation of the stage stable, we turned the buckets around and laid 2 door panels on top, and then performed our show.
This is the scene of the Yue opera competition in Dongwang village. The contestants come from all walks of life, carrying their passion and love for Yue opera, showcasing their talent.
I have absolute confidence. As long as you are determined, success is guaranteed. Where there is a will, there is a way.
I fell in love with Yue opera after watching The Legend of the White Snake years ago. I have never been into cartoons. I have always loved watching Yue opera instead. I think we should continue to preserve Yue opera, pass it on so that more people will know about it.
9-year-old Chen Yinhuo dreams of becoming a Yue opera actress like Chen Lijun. When Chen Lijun, also from Shenzhou, was 9 years old, she too was an avid theater fan. For Chen Lijun, it was all Yue opera as her peers listened to nursery rhymes. This love and obsession were influenced and nurtured by the strong Yue opera atmosphere in her hometown, Shenzhou.
Yue opera was everywhere in my hometown, and it had a profound impact on me. The language used in Yue opera is based on the dialect in my hometown Qingzhou. It's my cultural root. Even if I hadn't been trained for Yue opera and embarked on this artistic career, I think I would still feel very close to Yue opera when I listen to it.
Chen Lijun's alma mater, Shenzhou Yue Opera Art School, is known as the cradle of Yue opera artists. Chen Lijun has countless beautiful memories of the place.
I was the youngest student in my class. We were still at the old art school, next to the Qinghuang Temple. There was a small garden with countless flowers and trees, including grapefruit trees, osmanthus trees, Chinese peonies, wisteria flowers, and many other plants I liked. I studied art in this artistic environment. In autumn, when golden leaves covered the ground, it felt very romantic. Those 3 years were wonderful.
As the popularity of New Dragon Gate Inn attracts more young Chinese audiences for this art form, Chen's old school has seen a hike in student applications of 40% in 2024. Wang Xuefei, the head teacher of Chen Lijun at Shenzhou Yue Opera Art School, felt the change in this year's enrollment.
After Yue opera regained its popularity, I had a particularly strong feeling. Our enrollment this year was much better than in previous years. The competition was indeed more intense.
As a comprehensive art form, Yue opera trains performers in various skills, such as vocalization, enunciation, singing, posture, and performance. Without more than 10 years of consistent practice and unremitting efforts, it is difficult to meet the requirements of performing on stage.
There are many moves in The Legend of the White Snake, such as kneeling after jumping, sliding steps, and somersault with back falls. You can do these moves on a blanket, but on the floor, it can be quite painful. And I would injure my knees while doing these moves. At worst, I could hardly walk.
Today's Yue opera teaching is constantly seeking innovation and breakthroughs, becoming more creative and more international. As foreigners who love traditional Chinese culture have come to experience Yue opera actors have gone abroad on exchange trips, bringing the charm of Chinese operas to overseas audiences.
Sometimes the audience is so enthusiastic that it almost feels like the way they scream and shout could pierce through the floor. What makes me feel extremely happy and very impressed is that young people from other countries often show a strong interest in our traditional culture and the techniques in Yue opera, such as singing, reciting, acting, and martial arts, sleeve movements, finger techniques, and positions. They have a strong desire to learn and master these skills and then share them with their friends, classmates, and teachers. This makes me very pleased. I find it really cool that Yue opera is seen as a cool art.
Chinese opera is called a precious treasure of traditional Chinese culture, with hundreds of local theatrical genres. However, in today's fast-paced world, they face serious challenges. Even their survival is at stake. In 1983, there were 374 theatrical genres in China, but by 2012, the number had decreased to 286, a decline of nearly 25%. Protecting traditional theatrical genres has become a race against time. In Chengnan Primary School in Shenzhou, young students are rehearsing classic Yue opera plays. As the birthplace of Yue opera, Shenzhou has integrated the teaching of Yue opera into school curricula for more than 20 years, giving primary school students the opportunity to learn Yue opera from a young age.
It's essential to cultivate young Yue opera talent and to impart to young children our cultural heritage. When students sing Yue opera, they inherit the local dialect and learn the culture of our hometown as the birthplace of Yue opera from an early age. Here, our toddlers are already learning Yue opera. Through our efforts, we make sure Yue opera is well known, allowing all students to appreciate its appeal.
Activities like this can help young students get to know their tradition and cultural heritage. And perhaps for some, a deep love and passion for a career that may one day take them to a bigger stage.
This presentation was paid for by CGTN. The opinions, views, and claims expressed are those of CGTN and may not necessarily reflect those of CNBC.
Now let's meet with a talented content creator on China's video platform, Bilibili. She caught attention with a video that tracks the evolution of Chinese women's appearance and mindset from the 1920s all the way to the 2020s. Now that video alone racked up more than 10 million hits. But this Chinese New Year, she's drawing inspiration from traditional Chinese New Year pictures. Well, I can't wait to see her latest creation.
I'm Duo Hualin, a fashion vlogger on makeup and dress codes. Today I'm going to do Wang Xifeng, one of the main characters in the classic Chinese novel, A Dream of Red Mansions. I often watch old films for inspiration in reviving the beauty of the ancient makeup and costumes. The shooting process is a very important learning experience and got me interested in the evolution of traditional Chinese women's clothing. We've printed the New Year pictures featuring women.
You collected these?
Yes. This is the first one in chronological order. Then...
This is also from the Qing dynasty, right?
I was quite unfamiliar with New Year pictures before, but after some research, I found there are many beautiful female characters in these pictures. I visited the birthplaces of the beautiful women I'm going to impersonate.
Duo. Let me show you the beauty in this Tao Hua Wu New Year picture.
Wow, it's so clear. I can even see the patterns on the petals. The one that I printed is not as detailed.
This is a round print. We also call it full moon print. The title is Beauty Under Chinese Parasol Tree, which depicts a beauty leaning idly against a handrail under the Chinese parasol tree.
It seems as if she is relaxing in a garden.
Exactly.
She looks gentle, delicate, and pretty.
This is another print called Family Reunion. It also features women and has a peaceful and harmonious feeling.
The colors are brighter. It's different from Beauty Under Chinese Parasol Tree.
They're completely different. In different periods of their development, New Year pictures vary in color and style, depending on the social and cultural conditions of the time. New Year pictures are beautiful in a spiritual sense and reflect the face of their society.
The maids in Taohuawu New Year pictures manifest the literati fashion of Suzhou. The ladies in Yang Luqing New Year portraits have a regal bearing. Girls in Yanzhou New Year drawings look sweet and witty. Every female figure in the New Year pictures crystallizes the aesthetic value of a certain place in a certain period. Knowing this, when I see and touch them for myself, they are no longer just pictures to me, but keys to another age.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, action.
The truth is that I'm indebted to New Year pictures for chronicling and passing on information about the lives of ordinary Chinese people and their aesthetic tastes from centuries ago. The fact that they've done means we have a window on how people pursued beauty in the past.
From collectibles to short videos, China's new generation is breathing new life into the country's rich cultural heritage. Well, I hope you have enjoyed today's Meet China. In next week's episode, we will continue to explore this diverse nation. I'm Lulu, and I see you next week.
This presentation was paid for by CGTN. The opinions, views, and claims expressed are those of CGTN and may not necessarily reflect those of CNBC.